You are tuned in to the 5-Minute Signal, Mental Fortitude. I am Rhys Kael, cognitive strategist. This is not a self-help podcast. This is a tactical brief for optimizing your internal operating system. We don't do positive thinking here. We do strategic execution. 5 minutes on the clock. Let's get to work. The Max Planck Institute for Human Development just validated an ancient Stoic practice with modern neuroscience. 290 participants tracked across high-stakes professional environments, brain scans, anxiety markers, decision accuracy metrics. The conclusion is definitive. Deliberately imagining worst-case scenarios dramatically reduces anxiety and improves decision-making under pressure. Researchers found that those trained in negative visualization, systematically considering what could go wrong, showed 58% lower anxiety markers and significantly better judgment compared to those using positive thinking or distraction techniques. The mechanism is straightforward. When you mentally rehearse failure, your amygdala stops treating potential threats as unknowns and starts treating them as manageable scenarios. Your nervous system downregulates because the threat has been mapped. Most people avoid thinking about failure because it feels bad. The research shows that avoidance is exactly what keeps the anxiety active. Here's why it matters. Your brain is a prediction machine. It runs simulations constantly to prepare you for what might happen next. When you refuse to imagine negative outcomes, you are not protecting yourself from anxiety, you are creating it. Because your amygdala knows the threat exists, even if you will not look at it directly. So it keeps the alarm running in the background. Chronic low-level anxiety, hypervigilance, decision paralysis. All of it is your brain screaming at you to map the threat so it can stop treating everything as an emergency. The Stoics understood this 2,000 years ago. They practiced negative visualization daily. Imagine losing your job. Imagine your business failing. Imagine the relationship ending. Not to be pessimistic, to be prepared. The Max Planck study confirmed what Marcus Aurelius knew. When you confront the worst case in your mind, it stops controlling you. Your prefrontal cortex takes over from your amygdala. You shift from reactive fear to strategic planning. You are no longer running from the unknown. You are evaluating a scenario. The hard truth, positive thinking is making you weaker. Every time you refuse to consider what could go wrong, every time you tell yourself it will all work out, every time you avoid the mental rehearsal of failure, you are training your nervous system to stay in threat mode. Because optimism without preparation is not confidence, it is denial, and your brain knows the difference. The research is unambiguous. Participants who used positive affirmations showed higher cortisol levels and worse decision accuracy than those who practiced negative visualization. Why? Because positive thinking does not give your brain a plan. It just tells your amygdala to shut up while the threat remains unmapped. So the anxiety stays active. You feel it as background dread, as decision fatigue, as avoidance. The people who imagined failure deliberately had lower anxiety because their brains had already processed the threat and built a response. They were not hoping it would not happen. They were ready if it did. That is the difference between fragility and resilience. Here's the actionable move. 3 tactical steps to implement negative visualization and recalibrate your threat detection system. 1. Conduct a daily worst-case audit. Every morning, take 5 minutes and write down the worst thing that could happen today. Be specific, not vague catastrophizing. Concrete scenarios. The client says no. The project fails. The conflict escalates. Then write 1 sentence on what you would do if it happened. This is not about dwelling. This is about mapping. Your brain needs to know you have considered the threat and have a response. Once the scenario is mapped, the anxiety drops. Do this daily. It takes 5 minutes. It will cut your background anxiety in half. 2. Pre-mortem your high-stakes decisions. Before you commit to anything significant, run a pre-mortem. Assume the decision has failed. Now reverse engineer why. What went wrong? What did you miss? What assumptions were incorrect? This is not pessimism, this is strategic foresight. The Max Planck study showed that participants who ran pre-mortems on decisions made 30% fewer errors than those who only considered best-case scenarios. You are not trying to predict the future, you are trying to identify blind spots before they kill you. 3. Rehearse loss deliberately. Pick one thing you value, your job, your relationship, your health, your reputation. Now imagine it is gone. Sit with that feeling. Do not run from it. Let your nervous system process the scenario. What would you do? How would you rebuild? Who would you become? The Stoics called this practice preparing for adversity. Modern neuroscience calls it threat inoculation. Both agree. When you face loss in your mind, you stop fearing it in reality. You are training your brain to see failure as survivable. That is the foundation of real confidence. Stop hoping for the best and start preparing for the worst. That is how you build a nervous system that does not break under pressure. I'm Rhys Kael. This has been the 5-Minute Signal. Stay sharp.